Good afternoon, Vice Forecaster JD Rapp with you and the USA Severe Weather Network Center. We just have a severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued, and it's been going on for such a little time. This storm is capable of producing some very large hail today. So the storm still looks like it's capable of producing some very large hail. So we'll back out closely, and I'm going to send the link out. We're just going to stay with you just for a little bit on this one severe thunderstorm warning, and this goes out into this is a severe thunderstorm warning right over here, and this is in effect. All right, now we got 2-inch hail, so this storm is really strong. A severe thunderstorm warning. This is in Dixon County and King County and Cotton counties and Moulton counties down here in Texas. And at 3:03, a severe thunderstorm was located 6 miles south of Diamondton, or 11 miles northeast of Garivey, moving east at 40 miles an hour. So, folks, this is booking at 40. We'll expect 2-inch hail and 60 miles of wind gusts. So, this is a very large storm that is very capable of producing some very large hail today. And the hail showing up 3.75. Gosh. They've had some very large hail with that storm. And we did have some weak rotation with us, so we could be getting a storm that could spin up a tornado at times too. No tornado warning with it, but once you get these large hails, you have to watch out sometimes. And the potential for that one severe thunderstorm warning that goes in effect through about 4 o'clock. And we have another severe thunderstorm warning. So that's the same one for 2-inch hail. And this other one goes in effect, and that's capable of producing up to ping pong ball size hail. So that's the same one. So definitely there is potentially some very large hail right here with this hail core. And I was even showing Isaac this a few hours ago. This is some very large hail with it. So make sure you're indoors and get away from all the windows. This is some very large hail today with these severe thunderstorm warnings, and these are continuing. And while we're on here, I'm going to check very low on these storms just to see, because these storms are not nothing to fool around with today. They are very large, and they have a lot of punch to them. These storms are very strong today, capable of producing some very large hail. So we'll continue to keep you updated today. I'm just going to pop on the break-in to let you know we have a strong thunderstorm and a severe thunderstorm capable of producing hail up to 2 inches and 2 inches. So, folks, just think about 2-inch hail. That's enough to start shattering some windows and stuff. So, we got a question here. Kimberly Reed's asking where. Down there in down there in Texas. That's where it's at. All right, folks, we're going to have to switch gears right now. I was getting ready to sign off the air, but now we just have a tornado warning down there in Texas, so we want to have to go wall-to-wall coverage. So just hold tight for a second. I got to get my glasses. Alright, I'm back, folks. So we gotta go wall-to-wall coverage. We have a tornado warning in place. So, right now, I'm gonna pull up radar. We'll zoom into this here quickly. Alright. Alright. So that off. We have a tornado warning right now in place, so we gotta go wall. Tornado warning continues down here. The National Weather Service in Texas, north central King County, and north central Texas. This goes in effect into around 4 p.m. At 3:10, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was 5 miles south of Fanny, or 7 miles north of Guerrero, moving 45 miles an hour. So, folks, this is booking at 45 miles an hour with spec hazards tornado and up to 2-inch hail in diameter. So, folks, just think about how much hail is falling with that one thunderstorm. And I just got a marker here, so we'll be staying on the air probably into about 4 p.m. with you. So we'll drill in a little closely, and let me try to change velocity. And yeah, there's red next to green. That is gate to gate sheared with that storm. So if you're living any of these path of it, like Greater area, Grapevine area down here, or Garfield area, I can't say the right name, but if you live in that area, you definitely need to get centered, get covered, go to the lowest floor of the home, of the building. Mobile homes are not going to be safe. But this is the big time if you're in a mobile home, back away them, go to the lowest floor. Now, put a mattress between you. I always say to kids a lot to go to the lowest floor. And even this does not produce a tornado. It will likely to produce some straight line winds that could injure somebody. So definitely take the storm really seriously. I'm just checking the chat room, so I'm sending this. So let me drill out here and a couple things animating. So some by myself, it's kind of hard doing stuff. Yeah, it looks pretty strong. We got that purple marker that indicates some pretty decent strong side of rotation. So if you're in the warning, now's the time to seek shelter now. Do not wait on the tornado. This is booking at, let's see, 45 miles an hour, folks. And the hail, look at the hail. Gosh. See, once you get into this over blue color, the white color, you really have some very large hail with this. So definitely there is some very large hail falling with this tornado. So definitely that's a problem with these storms. You could really get a lot of punch with these. So the reason why we're on is because we have a tornado warning in place now. So I'm checking our tools and see if we have a tornado on the ground yet. And looks like some blue color, but that doesn't mean we have a huge debris ball yet. But so just give me time. I'm on the chat here because I'm by myself and it's kind of hard to do both at the same time. So just hold on a second. All right, I just checked in with some of my crew here. They Isaac said nothing was on the ground yet, so definitely that's some good news. So if you live in the tornado warning, now's the time to seek shelter. Put a bike helmet on top of your head. I got people even try to do that all the time, try to protect yourself from flying debris. So we have a tornado warning right now. Hold on. We got a tornado warning that goes into 4 o'clock. I think Isaac's going to jump on with me and kind of get me through this and kind of help out a little bit. So if you join me, you live in King area, this is the time to seek shelter. Put a bike helmet on, and you can just see that rope. All right, we got Isaac on, so let me. Can you hear me, Isaac? All right, we got a tornado warning. I was getting ready to go off the first time, but this popped up.
Okay, and again, there are not likely any followers directly by this tornado warning. I would like to provide some just a follow up here for some of those that may be impacted here across north and sections of the Texas hill country here, especially up towards the closer to the Red River now. Looks like this there is a chance that this cell could hold together for some time. Not saying there's going to be anything particularly long tracked, but I think obviously this is a very mature supercell north of Guthrie, Texas. That will be tracking. And I think the conditions may be right. I think this we'll see some additional warnings where this storm will likely be tracking here. So we're going to say still tornado hail up to 2 inches in diameter, but you got a decent hook with that. And again, this is close to Guthrie. But I would also like to just provide a background of what else I've been noting on the Lubbock radar here. You can see some additional storms that are developing to the south and west of there. I think the lead vorticity max, where you're seeing the height falls, the lead enhancement with this trough, you got quite a bit of lift and elevated instability to work with. And more than likely, because we're dealing with the dry line with this. When you're getting convergence from the dry line, that is likely giving us, well, again, further aloft, there's quite a bit of lift, wind shear, and instability, but there's also some near the surface where the capping inversion can erode, and then you have a little bit more wind shear to work with closer to the ground. And I think the tornado risk, I don't expect a fairly substantial tornado risk with this particular storm.
Me either. But straight line winds are going to be a problem, Isaac.
Well, outside of the storm, I meant to say, but I think that the rotation is still fairly tightening up from the perspective there on the Lubbock radar. And what I'm seeing here on velocities here, I'm seeing 60 to 70 mile per hour winds outbound, and behind that,
wow.
I can tell that we have gate to gate shear in excess of probably about 60 or so miles per hour.
Wow.
And again, this is several thousand feet off the ground. This is not wind speeds at the surface, but more than likely you are seeing a strong downdraft with this, and a decent hail core as well. So I mean,
it's booking at 40 miles an hour.
And again, this is tight. This is an indication, especially tilt 1. You have pretty tight rotation at the base. But when we're looking even further aloft, there is a significant indication that you got Quite a bit of you got a very strong updraft to work with here, and several thousand feet off the ground. I can tell that there's quite a bit more wind shear aloft, which I think that's also factoring in the hail potential as well, because you got lots of moist and some saturated air within that updraft. Um, and again, that there's super cooled air on the back end. That's what we're seeing with that hail core. That is likely where we're seeing all that hail. And looking at, in particular, tilt 3, I think I'm going to look at tilt 4. I can definitely tell, again, there's the drop in velocities there. That's where that's where there's an indication of wind shear, but there's also that's an indication where there's a stronger updraft. And I'm going to look at some of the other dual Paul products here with this. I can tell the VIL with that in excess of 80 kg M2. What that indicates is there's pretty good like the cloud tops are likely several tens of thousands of feet off the
We'll
ground.
check that here just a second.
That
Yeah, look at that, Isaac. We're almost into the 60s up here. That little red color, that is a pretty decent. Folks, that is very strong today.
Are you referencing the velocities that we are seeing?
No. I'm looking at the echo tops. They're very strong today, folks.
Well, they're pretty high.
Yeah, that is a pretty strong storm today.
Yeah,
and even if you don't see a tornado from this, I'm concerned you'll see straight line winds.
Yeah, sure. And again, that's 50 to 60. Well, I'm indicating more 57, 58 on the cloud tops. And you get the rear flank. You can see that's where we got the hail core with that. And again, this is the back side of that cell. You have the forward flank. That's where the storm top is. And then on the back side of all that, you got the strong, super cooled air. And again, this is just showing how we have quite a bit of wind shear to work with further aloft, and that's where we get you get a strong. I am indicating with the signatures that I'm seeing here that the high reflectivity values and the tight gradient on reflectivity as well. That's also hinting that just that signature on reflectivity shows that we got a pretty healthy updraft. This is a pretty healthy supercell. This is a good chance of holding together. And we could see also just saying additional storms are also popping up. They will likely track into this environment as well. And again, the surface will at times be favorable for conditions may be favorable for a couple of tornadoes with this, but more than likely, I think hail is going to be your biggest risk.
Yeah, I think so too.
And again, I think that some hail could be locally over 2 inches in diameter as well. And again, where we're seeing a stronger hail core, where you're seeing what you're likely seeing aloft, that the algorithm that you're seeing with some of the data you're getting on your radar software, it may show that there's 2-inch hail or 3-inch hail with it, but the hail core may not be strong enough. So that might be what you're seeing further aloft. But obviously with warmer temperatures at the ground, it's not going to be the same size.
No, I don't think it'll be the same size.
Unless you have a hail core, it becomes more likely because you got that pretty intense downdraft. And I think with the hail core that we're seeing here and the pretty healthy updraft, this is a good chance. We're probably seeing hail upwards of 2 inches in diameter at the very least.
I think so too. I mean,
and the rest of people across like the high plains of Texas, even into like the Red River Valley here, and sections of North Texas, maybe parts of Oklahoma. While the potential may not we're not expecting widespread 2-inch hail by any means, but I think the more favorable conditions, I think obviously you get well west. I don't think Oklahoma City proper is under this particular threat of over 2-inch hail. This is more locations west, further west, well into, again, this would be west of I-44 and I-35 in Oklahoma there.
I'm just getting a new update from the SPC, Isaac. It showed St. Louis is in a low in threat tonight. Part of it
Yeah,
is.
they have shifted that area, and again, I think they have made a slight correction with that outlook there to account for the risk of severe storms. I think, yeah, not St. Louis proper, just some of their counties.
Oklahoma's in a slight risk. I think that put most of everybody in Oklahoma in it.
Yeah, and again, this would likely be just for folks in Oklahoma here. This is where we're seeing a brunt of that instability in Texas, and we're going to have to see how these storms do hold together. I think the lapse rates, and I think the elevated instability, just the parameters that we're seeing favorable for well over 2 inch in diameter hail, likely this is going to transition to more of a clustered mode rather than seeing like discrete supercells capable of like very large hail. And we've been indicating that possibility for some time now. But
Well, and I've been watching this morning, and I've been saying all along, Isaac, we will see possibility up to some very large hail. That's my main thing. I've been telling people is large hail is going to be the biggest concern of this.
Yeah, sure. And again, while I mean the greatest risk for well over 2 inch in diameter hail, obviously the significant severe area stretches from Lubbock towards like western Oklahoma City, towards Wichita Falls, and I mean really there like a majority of this slight risk area is not under the specific threat for well over 2 inch in diameter hail.
I don't know, Isaac. Is this debris or not? This blue spot.
So right now it's not completely surrounded by like red colors or anything. But I will point out, yeah, they have just continued that warning in the added Ford County and yeah, some of those other cities. They have actually up the expected hazards with this storm. Hail upwards of baseball size is actually
Oh
being
shoot!
yeah, but again, the good news is this is going to be over mainly rural areas. We're not talking like major urban populations that will be impacted by this. But again, Ford County, and towards Crowell, I think they have extended that warning.
This is a
A
dangerous
severe
storm.
thunderstorm warning, and again, likely while the tornado risk is there, they
A
may
tornado
they
tax.
may extend.
Tornado text again. I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and also that storm in Cottle County, Texas, the population of that particular warned area is only 5 people, but there are other like small towns that might be impacted. So this one in Benjamin County, Texas, um, this would, yeah, there is a potential there. Benjamin area, Truscott, Gilland, and Rhineland, some of the smaller towns within here. But according to spotters, yeah, I was going to say the source of the basis of the warning is baseball-sized hail per spotters. So whether there's a confirmed report of baseball-sized hail, I haven't seen that yet. If there's any local storm reports with this, I'm going to check the Twitter feed.
So, folks,
here.
if you're folks, baseball size hail is very large, so you got to take this storm very seriously.
Once again, I will point out there are only a couple of people viewing this live feed at one particular time. It is highly unlikely that there's anyone joining us from that warned area in particular. But I will point out there are plenty of people that will likely see the potential for some severe storms later in the day. And again, but also I will say, yeah, confirmed baseballs per feed committee. Yeah, I was going to say Ford County was also, I think there was a supercell that tracked there just the other day for potential for hail to softball size, and I think we've gotten a few spotter reports out of that area as well. I am going to try and get the local storm reports and try and fetch some of that data. But is there any new information that we're seeing on here on radar? Oh, this would be per NWS Norman. I'm gonna it is their county
Yeah,
warning area.
Isaac, I'll be right back. I gotta take care of something real quick.
Okay. So I'm looking at the Twitter feeds now. I was going to say they have added Ford and Knox County in Texas to that particular warning. Potential for hail up to baseball size with that storm. I think the county warning area that I'm trying to fetch this information from, it's either Norman. Oh yeah, I was going to say that looks like Lubbock. I'm going to pull up the NWS Lubbock Twitter feed here. Oh, LUB, there we are. So the spotter reports from here. Yeah, Storm Chaser has reported hail of baseball size. Several windshields have been broken and numerous dents in vehicles between Paducah and Guthrie. Yeah, I was going to say we have had reports of hail of baseball size. We have plenty of people chasing out there. More than likely, I don't know if there are many people that reside in that area in particular. So the threat of property damage with that particular storm is not as high as if it were to be in a more urban area. But more than yeah, I was going to say when you're getting those windshields taken out and stuff like that from the force of that hail, again, you got a decent hail core with that particular cell, and you know I've seen plenty of storm chasers attempting to intercept some of this gargantuan hail that they've been talking about. Again, I've seen plenty of times where storm chasers got their windshield blown out, and it's a huge problem for just people on the roads. And you know, it's a good idea just to be indoors if you were ever to be in a situation where there's a hailstorm around, when hail's a threat. And once again, I will point out that we have some so storms
Back.
are developing further downstream there, well into the areas
All
of the
right,
Lubbock towards Odessa.
2.75 inches of hail with several.
Yeah, that
All right, we got some damage here. Windshields are broken and numerous dents in vehicles between Paducah and that one starts with a G.
Yeah, that would probably be Paducah. And I heard that Reed Timmer's down there.
I wonder he's okay.
Oh, I'm sure he is. It's just there's a lot of people chasing these storms, and we do not recommend people do that. I mean, there are only 300 people that live in this particular warning. And once again, this is a predominantly rural area. So once again, if anything, uh, I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of people that are taking note of this warning and taking their precautions. It's just a good idea.
So yeah, I
for
mean,
the rest of people that are impacted into Oklahoma and Texas there with that particular line, we're seeing a lot of that convective initiation with the lead vorticity max. We're seeing some
a
additional.
lot of people pull off on the road, and that's the problem, folks. When you pull off the road, it could be dangerous when this type of hail's going on, right?
Well, I mean, really, indoors is your best bet. I mean, I am
Yeah, I
not
mean, you don't have to
really
go to a
sure
tornado
about
safe
like
spot.
if we have seen any injuries not related to like other people that are trying to chase or whatever. I'm not particularly certain about that, but I will point out, um, likely as these storms continue to move east, we'll see some additional storms moving into this kind of similar environment. We're just talking about this one storm right
Yeah,
now.
that's what I told everybody before you came on, Isaac. That the reason why I'm staying on is because we had this tornado warning. I just got a message from the chat room here from Ian. He's saying, "Hey, confirm baseball baseball are falling with this storm now, with some damage and winds."
Yeah, sure. But likely, you know, we're not going to just talk about this one warning for like 20 minutes or half an hour or a whole hour.
Okay. Okay.
Because we are seeing some developments with that. I've seen some chaser footage.
All right. I just got an update, Isaac. Hazard tornado and 3-inch hail.
Yeah, that is with the initial warning. I don't think we've had a confirmed report of 3-inch in diameter hail, but I think that is a possibility. We got hail close to that magnitude. So sometimes they just round it up, and I'm pretty sure we've gotten a couple instances of hail that may be over that particular size. Again, just pending further confirmation. But again, it's very possible you got hail like that. Again, I think that hail core, I think it's slightly weaker than what it is now, but you still got a pretty, I think just a good shot on radar there, where there might be some fairly large hail with that. But once again, I want to talk more about, like, people might be viewing us in Oklahoma or further into Texas towards like the Dallas area.
Well, Oklahoma, that's what your grandma lives at, so she might be viewing this.
Well, again, I will talk. I'm going to talk more about, like, again, as these storms track in further east into Oklahoma. We're gonna watch how the storms are holding up in further into the Panhandle of Texas, into a western part of Oklahoma, outside the Oklahoma Panhandle, of course. But I think we're starting to see that convective initiation further downstream, mostly in Texas right now. I think well into Oklahoma, I think you're going to see a more clustered storm mode. It's not going to. We're not talking like discrete supercells producing like 3-inch in diameter hail over the rest of the state of Oklahoma necessarily. Maybe some instances, a little more localized instances of some larger hail possibly, but I think the flooding potential is going to be higher, and the damage.
Yeah, I think flooding is going to be a biggest concern, folks. Remember, Isaac, you do not drive your car through a flooded roadway, right?
Yeah, right. And again, more than likely, I think the storms will be tracking into further into like the late evening hours, overnight hours, for folks in Oklahoma City proper, maybe further east towards like Tulsa, towards Dallas potentially. I think that's when your damaging wind potential will increase. I think maybe you still get hail of ping pong ball size times, but I think the hail threat will be lower as the storms track into that area.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about this one thunderstorm over here. It's starting to give me signs of some more rotation again.
Yeah, again, the rotation is tightening up at times.
By Floyd City, that's what I'm concerned about.
If it really tightens up, especially heading into like Ford County and such, the eastern part of that warning, you got to pay really close attention. The tornado threat is not zero, but just because you're seeing red next to green, if it's dark greens and dark reds, like if it's light greens and light reds, that is definitely gate-to-gate shear. But the wind shear is more weaker when you're seeing the darker colors next to each other. And again, sometimes you'll get broader wind shear.
But even I told people this today, Isaac. I told people this today too. I told people today that even you don't see a tornado, straight line winds is enough to cause some damage worse than a tornado. That's what I'm concerned about today.
Yeah, more than likely. So once again, I would just be advised to the conditions that we're likely seeing quite a bit of instability further aloft along that vorticity max, and we're going to want to pay attention to these storms as they develop and track over the rest of Oklahoma and into further east into sections of up into like Kansas and western Missouri as well. I think that's where I think the coverage of storms in several hours will likely depend on what we're seeing with the line of storms that we're seeing how much convective initiation we're getting now. And if it really does hold together tonight, we'll likely see some elevated wind shear aloft. And again, I think your tornado is a little bit lower into the nighttime, but it's still there. So still
Yeah.
good to be alert. And I think
And
there is a small chance. Just give the lead the lead vorticity max is at the upper level trough as this tracks further into like the Midwest, heading into late tonight. There may be a potential for a couple of storms that could produce hail, but otherwise mostly just concerned um, about just some embedded thunderstorms that may produce gusty winds, heavy rain, lightning, probably over the rest of the Midwest and stuff like that. But once again, we're not seeing any significant, just
yeah, I
some
just got
major
an update on my phone,
reports of
Isaac.
damage of injuries.
Flash flood watch for flash flood watches for Illinois now.
Yeah, I was going to say they have issued. I think Paducah just issued one this afternoon. Their afternoon package there. They are mostly calling for potential for 2 to 4 inches locally. Higher cannot be ruled out. And
I'll share that with Illinois storm.
Definitely get more specifics. Scale conditions. Well, yeah, and again, don't initiate live feed yet on the Illinois Stormwatch side because we're still kind of ruling out the developments with everything as we get them.
Well,
but
I'm just
once
posting
again, just the possibility of
all right. Any new reports coming in yet?
Yeah, I did see the Twitter feed. I gotta see if there's anything new coming to that particular storm. But once again, I think a lot of chaser reports of windshields busted out. I will say
Wow.
with that particular cell. But I will also say, again, that is the only damage report we've received at the time being. So whether this cell is I think this is the only storm we're really worried about right now, and it's not really impacting much anyone out there. Otherwise, people that might be chasing, not really much civilization in this particular area in King County or Cottle County. There's some smaller towns within there, but again, the threat of property damage is lower because there's no permanent residences within here, but there's still a lot of farm equipment, some crops.
Yeah, I know.
Impacted, but more than likely,
they should know what to do.
We'll have to see how the additional storms will develop in that environment as well, further down into the Texas high plains, and we'll have to or Texas Hill Country as well. A lot of areas that are not parallel to the Gulf of Mexico as that dry line converges, and you got that vorticity max tracking into that environment. This is likely where you're seeing quite a bit of lift, quite a bit of forcing, and again, we'll have to pay attention to those storms further down the line there, see if we get any developments with those. But again, pending any damage reports, we'll have them shared to the group. Yeah, I'll send you something on feed committee if I get anything in terms of damage reports or injuries, whatever. We'll relay them as we get there. But
and I'll continue to watch radar.
Okay, sounds good. I will catch up here. See you guys soon.
Any new reports? Well, thank you, Isaac, for coming in. We're still under this tornado wind about 4 o'clock this afternoon. It's still capable of producing 3-inch hail. But the severe thunderstorm warning is still capable of producing baseball, folks. Baseball is way dangerous. All right, we just have a new tornado warning in place. So, all right, Ian said we have a tornado on the ground. So let me try to get Isaac back on here. So hold on just a second. Let me. All right, we just have another tornado warning, so we'll probably stay with you just for a minute. The new tornado warning goes in effect at 4:15. This storm is south into Floyd County in north central Texas. 5 miles north of Prescott, Mooney's around 45 miles an hour. Tornado and baseball size hail. So, Ian said this storm has a hook on it. So, definitely you might want to move to your safe spot. This is another tornado. So far, this is a radar indicated tornado. Let's see here. I mean, so if you're in the area, now's the time to seek shelter. Put a bike helmet on top of your head. This is a tornado warning. Starting to get 1, 2, 3 markers with the storm, but this storm is probably capable of producing some very large hail with it. So you definitely want to make sure you're taking shelter. Put many walls between you as possible. Put a bike helmet on top of you. I mean, this is a tornado warning right now, folks. And M thinks this could be on the ground. I'm not seeing no text right now. But the echo tops are very incredible. Gosh, are you kidding me? This storm is really incredible and it's showing signs of some very large hail today with the storm. So we have a tornado warning that goes in effect into about 4:15. So we'll back out. Starting to get lots of car windows been busted. That's going to be the biggest thing today. We get these storms that get the pretty decent updraft, then they get lots of car windows busted. That's what we could have today is a lot of car windows could get busted from these storms. So if you're just joining me, we have a tornado warning that goes in effect about 4:15. And right now we're still tracking severe weather coming in. I'll check in with let's see, I'll switch back for a hail. And yeah, it's very large today, up to 2 inches in diameter. So even baseball is enough to start shattering windows. So we definitely need to be keeping that in mind and be mindful because that could be a pretty strong sail. So right now, I'm going to check the chat feeds here on my So zoom in, and you can see we have tornado warnings are continuing. So far, I have no confirmed report of anything on the ground yet. And right now, I just got a message here on the chat. Inset SPC saying turn it right now. Alright, that tornado warning for Texas. We're still continuing to track storms today, and this has been an active afternoon, everybody. And each one of these could bring potentially for large hail, and even potentially for tornadoes. Starting to get, and 2 more markers are showing up again. Just reading everything. This will be a long-lived cyclone event. Still tracking into if you live in Floyd, north of Floyd City, you're okay. You're not in the warning. But if you in Truscott area, you definitely are in a tornado warning that goes in effect around 4:15. This storm is capable of producing hail the size of baseball. And just going to check to see if we have any debris. And we definitely have to watch this because any debris with this would be bad. So definitely need to be shaken shelter. Put a mattress between you, many walls between you, because this is a tornado warning that goes into effect into 4:15. And like I said, these storms are very strong today, and they are capable of producing tornadoes. And I always thinking the hail is going to be the biggest concern with this. So you join me this evening. About 4 o'clock, we're still tracking severe thunderstorms and tornado warnings. This goes in effect to 4 o'clock this afternoon. Just checking different scans, and yeah, they're still continuing with very large hail up to baseball. And so far, we don't have anything on the ground. But like I said, when you start seeing that very large hail, that's never a good sign at all. So we will be here tracking this, and I'm going to be breaking in as needed this evening. We've been on for 50 minutes. We will continue to keep you updated on this tornado warning.